Yeah, good afternoon. Appreciate you guys being here. I think, hey, just first of all, just again, thank our fans. That was an awesome atmosphere again Saturday. I know it was a hot day. I felt it for sure on the sideline. I look up and everybody's in black but cheering their tails off, and it was awesome. And jumped up to a big lead at halftime, and I guess it got a little too hot. A lot of people left after halftime or third quarter, but it was still great, man, and our great atmosphere, and we obviously feed off of that. But our guys played a complete game. I thought from offense, defense, and kicking. Really did a nice job with it defensively. To get a shutout, man, that's very tough to do, especially nowadays in college football. To shut a team out with the way these offenses are, with the great skill players. And to create three turnovers. I mean, that was huge defensively as well. Offensively, very efficient again. Brendan was very efficient as a passer. And then we took care of the football. I thought that was huge as well as we had throughout the game. And special teams were solid. And they had a couple great return men back there. We did a good job covering those guys. I think Fletch punted twice in the game. Did a nice job, and we knocked a couple field goals down again. So just a complete game, man. It was great to get our first Big 12 win here at home, and to be 1-0, which is part of our goal, and now we got a great challenge. First time we got to go get on a plane and for a road trip. Here week 5 to go to a place that has great tradition. Have put up a ton of points. I feel like they score points every year. If you go back 10 or 15 years, I mean they're just always putting up points and this will be a great environment in the Big 12. I think a lot of our away games in the Big 12 this year will be some great environments for college football. This will be at night. It's a blackout. I'm sure it's a sellout. So a lot of great environment for football. A very, very good football team. Offensively, lighting it up. Probably one of the best backs in the country. 230 pounds. He can run. He's fast. Extremely talented back. And then the quarterback's been great. I think he's leading the Big 12 in touchdown passes. They spread you out, throw it all over the place, and they tempo you and try to get you out of position and going fast. Defensively, gave a lot of points the first week, but I feel like have really settled in the last few weeks. Defensively, the guys play hard. They get after it. And I think and they got a couple good return men as well this week in the team. So going to be a great challenge for us, but we're looking forward to it. It'll be, we'll need to have a great week practice this week for sure, getting ready.
How much do you feel like you guys have settled in defensively in terms of adjusting to the scheme and getting everybody on the same page?
Well, I mean, I still think we're learning. We're learning about what our players can do within the scheme. We're learning about where we need to play them. We've had some injuries, particularly up front. And I think that's hurt us at times. And in the secondary, losing Mink for the game. One game we had, he comes back again this week and gets a pick on the first drive again, which was great. But I do think we have learned a lot over the first month of the season so far defensively. I still think we're continuing to, we got to get better and better. We're going to face some great offenses, starting with this one this weekend, as we move forward into Big 12 with some really nice quarterbacks, great schemes, and really good skilled players. So we'll be tested as we move forward. But I do think, when you're playing a team like this, I mean, they're going to move the ball. They're going to have a lot of yards. We got to do a great job when we get in the red zone. Trying to hold them to field goals and somehow creating turnovers.
You prepare for a guy like Brooks. You want to keep your team safe, but on the other hand, you got to figure out how to take down a bowling ball.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. It's difficult. I think to try to simulate that. We'll obviously use several guys in practice to be able to try to simulate that. But I mean, you're not going to simulate a guy who's 230 pounds that runs like he does. When you're trying to defend the pass and you're spreading everybody out, you're getting a little bit of thin in the box there, and there you go. He hands it off, and now you got one guy's trying to come tackle this guy. So we got to really rally to the football, try to get a lot of hats to the ball whenever he does run it.
X and Sorsby, it kind of had that connection with the hitch routes and the easier throws. They showed against Houston they can also make the play in the end zone, just throw up a 50-50 ball. How promising was it for the rest of the season to kind of see that part of their connection continue?
Yeah, it was good to see. We haven't, really haven't done much of that since I've been here, and X certainly has the talent. Those two great throws, I thought, outside shoulder, where our guy catches or nobody catches it, and dropped it right in there, and X went up and got it, So it was great to see that, as versus press man, and we're obviously going to see a lot of man as, we head throughout the next 8 games, and to be able to throw and catch like that. We're going to need that. That's a great part of our offense if we're able to do that, because if teams do load the box to try to stop the run, you're going to get some one-on-one out there, and we got to have great confidence to know that we can throw it out there and complete those balls.
Are the quarterbacks similar? You got two Texas kids, they're about the same size. They got some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, I think two different offenses, though. They're more of the up tempo, spreading out and rolling with it, and getting in rhythm. And obviously, we're a little bit more, huddle and ball control and run the football and play action and those type things. So, yeah, I mean, the similarities are certainly similar in size. They're both from Texas. They're both really good quarterbacks. And it should be a good matchup between the two.
Comment. Didn't run a lot of plays. Neither team.
That's right.
You're kind of in this game, obviously, with the tempo type of team is going to be their intention is anyway to have a lot more plays. Did you think that helped your defense staying fresh? The fact that Houston kind of slowed it down as well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you only have to defend, low to mid 50s, I mean, you're certainly going to help your defenses compared to 80 or 90 plays, which I feel like Texas Tech runs a lot of plays. So that is something that's certainly, in the back of my mind, I think about that as far as, I'm not necessarily going to a game saying, hey, we got to have the ball 35 minutes. You don't really necessarily do that because offensively we're just trying to move the football. I think what it's worked out is we've been able to have some long drives this year. We've had some 15-play, 16-play, 17-play drives and occupy the clock a lot. But while you're doing that, man, your defense is getting the rest. They're getting fresh. The coaches have more time to go over scheme. We think about the iPads over there. So there's a lot of benefit to that. And then I also think, when you're playing teams that are the tempo-type teams, they love to be in rhythm. And if they're standing a lot on the sideline, it's hard for them to get in rhythm, obviously. So as much as we can do that, that'd be great. But I do think each game could be different. I mean, the way you got to play off the game and how the game is going to figure out, how to occupy that ball.
This team has been much improved year over year on third down. How important is that aspect going to be against Texas Tech and keeping them from third and short, keeping them kind of behind the sticks as much as possible?
Yeah, no question. I think first down's huge. When you're playing a team like this, is to try to get them in the second and long situation because obviously, second and medium, second and short, they can run anything they want. I mean, you take shots, you can run the ball, you can do whatever, and now they feel like, okay, there's still manageable situations on third down. It's much easier to defend when it's third and long compared to that third and short, third and medium. So that is huge, finding ways to get them off the sticks, obviously, and for us, obviously, on our side, to stay on the sticks. I mean, I think I look at their defense, and they've done a really good job on the third and short stuff. I mean, they pack them all up in there. They play hard, they run hard. So yeah. I mean, that's a game within the game. I think that third down situation for sure.
High pace. How key is it that you've had a lot of guys on defense get a lot of real game reps?
Yeah, no, I think it's huge. We've played a lot of guys, and a lot of young guys have played, particularly on defense, and rotating guys in and out, keeping our guys fresh. We've played. I mean, Pitt was about as fast as you can go, high tempo team. So, I feel like we've been able to do that. We've played into heat, the first 4 games really. So this game, obviously being at night, be a little bit cooler. That'll certainly help that part of it. But different environment. I mean, we're going in an environment where 60,000 people screaming for the other team. And so this will be a different environment and a different kind of test for our guys.
Going into a tougher environment this week with the night game on the road. Is there anything you're doing in practice this week to prepare for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think offensively, certainly, getting the crowd noise that going in practice, working on communication, working our cadence within that. So yeah, there's several things that we're going to be doing within practice. I still hopefully, we got a lot of old guys on offense, veteran guys that have played in big time games on the road before. So, hopefully that doesn't phase us and we're able to execute and do the things we need to do in order to move the football, be successful.
Antoine Peak played really well Saturday. Is he becoming a guy that it's increasingly more difficult to keep off the field because it feels like he is kind of becoming a guy you trust in that star spot?
Yeah, I mean, I think, he's made some big plays for us, not only at the star spot, as you mentioned, but also in the special teams. We had a big-time tackle, physical tackle on kickoff team Saturday. So I think, yeah, he's done a really nice job of fitting in there, and really his strength really is to come down and be physical and tackle, and I think he's done a great job with that. I think Sanks has done a nice job as well. So I mean, it doesn't hurt certainly to keep those guys fresh and rotate and utilize them in the situations where we need to utilize them. And I think that's some of the things that I'm talking about while we're working some stuff out defensively to find out, all right, when do we need to have, Sanks in, we need to have the certain guys in the game to be able to make the plays.
They score like basketball points. You guys score your share.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the off-season conditioning stuff comes into play.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. I think, and it goes back a little bit to, his question about, playing a lot of guys, and I think that's going to help. I think, if you're able to rotate guys in and out, keep them fresh, because it really affects the second and fourth quarters, after you've played that first and third quarter, and to keep those guys fresh, we got to keep rotating. I think Rob Jackson should be back this week. He missed last week, so he should be back. So that'll give us another guy, defensive lineman-wise. So it certainly helps to have the depth that we have this year that we've created, and we'll utilize it, and that should help with the conditioning factor.
You emphasized getting the bell back against Miami, dogfight against Houston. Is there a different mantra for this week against Texas Tech, or how are you conjuring up that rivalry feel that you want to try to?
No, I think it's a Big 12 game. And it's a Big 12 game on the road. So whatever we've done the last few weeks to get ready to play, I mean, it should intensify a little bit more this week. And it really just the focus and take one day at a time. Like you got to be our best on Tuesday, man. It's got to be our best Tuesday practice, getting ready for these guys. And our guys have done a great job with this, is staying in the moment, staying in the day. Not looking behind or ahead. I mean, just staying focused right in there. And I think that is the key. I know it's very simple to say that, but that is the key, to have a best Tuesday practice we can have and stay in the moment. But it's a Big 12 game on the road. Everything's going to be more intense this week for sure.
Rob Jackson coming back this week. Phil Wilder came back last week. How is there any update on D'Artagnan for this week?
Yeah, no, I would. D'Artagnan's still probably out this week. So the lineup that we had last week is probably what we'll go with this week as well. Buford played solid. Moving into guard, I thought Phil had a really good game for his first game this season. He felt great after the game as well. So hopefully he'll be better this week and stronger this week. But getting Rob back will certainly help up front defensive line wise. We thought he was playing pretty good, prior to his injury going out. So that's he gives us some more size too. I think that'll help up front.
You had Rob and Burns out. You get Rob back. Did you like what you see? You got veteran guys, Varner and Wilson there that stepped up and got a lot of plays for you.
Yeah, they did. Cam's really given us some good minutes there at defensive line position, causing some havoc, particularly on third downs, getting in the backfield. That's been great. So, yeah, we're getting some good production out of those guys. I mean, we've had to use a lot of guys in there and rotate around. I mean, Kamari Burns, hopefully he'll be back this week. We'll see. Still questionable, but hopefully he'll be practicing. And to have him, Eric Phillips has been playing really, really good football this year as well. Getting into the backfield, causing pressure. So we got to have it out of those guys. They got to continue to get to the quarterback, particularly this week when a team that may throw it, 45, 50 times. So we got to be able to get in the backfield and try to get him to move a little bit and get off his spot.
This isn't about Sorsby specifically, but if you could draw up in a lab what you want to get from your quarterback, is this what it looks like? A guy that can make all the throws, is mobile, can make some plays with his feet, plays with a lot of confidence. Like, is this what you want out of the quarterback, what you're getting so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, if you look and see, we would love to have guys that are mobile, to be able to get in and out of, the presence of a pocket if they need to. Also to be able to run the football if they need to, but also, be able to decipher defenses, make it accurate throws, and make the big plays when you need them, like the third down plays. I mean, and he's done a great job with third down. Has he played perfect? No, but I mean, that's going to be hard to play perfect. I think he's played very, very well. And we're going to need great play out of the quarterback as we continue to move forward this week, we know. But, yeah, he's had a great, 4 games so far. We just got to keep this thing going.
How much have you noticed about his mindset that kind of influences his style of play? Because you don't often see guys that are willing to stand in the pocket and also willing to run over a linebacker.
Yeah, he's got a good, he's got good poise in the pocket, because I feel like first 4 games we've had a lot of pressure come at him, and he's been able to stand in there and, make the throws. I mean, one of the ones early in the game Saturday where, we throw a skinny to the field and they blitz and he ends up getting hit in the head. They call the penalty on it, but he stood in there and threw an accurate ball right to Jamoy and big play for us, and then you get to 15 on top of that. So that speaks to his poise and his toughness, and I think when he does run the football, like he's going to get yards. Like he's trying to fight to get yards. Touchdown's a great example. There's two guys there, and he just lowered his shoulder and tried to run them over. I mean, he's 230 pounds. He's a big kid. He's going to try to go get yards, which I love because like that describes our football team. Like if your quarterback is fighting to get yards, I mean, everybody else is going to play a little bit harder, and I think that's what I love. Physical play. And we tell our team we want to be physical at every single position, including the quarterback, and that's what he's been able to do.
Compared to most other quarterbacks that you've coached in your career?
Well, I mean, he's unique in the fact that he can throw the football and he got a quick release and he's accurate and he can run. I mean, so yes, I mean in that regard he's pretty unique. I think he's a special player. I think he's and he's still young. I mean, he's still learning. He's still growing as a player, and I think we still hadn't seen his best ball. I think it's still to come.
They blocked an extra point last week. Apparently, they've done a fair amount of that under McGuire. How do you guard against that? What do you do in practice?
Yeah, we work our special teams every day, and particularly field goal team every day. It's proper splits. It's the guys making stepping down like they're supposed to, not relaxing on those plays. It's the snap, it's the hold, it's the kick. It's all three of the operations part of that. There's a lot that goes involved. There's a lot involved with that. So we've been very solid with that. Our protection. We just got to continue to that and concentrate and do that every single day. And you can't relax. When you relax, that's when those things happen.
Teams that like to score or prolific offensively usually are also teams that look to go sudden change where they immediately try to attack. Is that something that with your guys you have to talk about in terms of if there is they get the ball at midfield, you got to be ready for them to
yeah,
try to
I mean,
get you.
we do sudden change all spring and all camp, so our guys are used to that. We, throughout practice at any point in time, our coaches don't know when it's going to happen. I'm the only one that will do it. And just randomly, period 6, we're going to have a sudden change. All of a sudden now it's 3rd and 7, everybody runs on the field, and let's see what we're going to do here. So we practiced a lot of that sudden change, and I think it's just part of football, part of knowing what's happening, what's the field position, what's the down and distance. Sudden change, shot could be coming. I mean, all those things we've talked about, and our guys, I feel like are they're ready for those type plays, and it's just about execution whenever they happen.
Washington State did a good job keeping them in check. Is it difficult to watch that tape and say we want to kind of emulate some of the stuff they do, being in a different system? How much of that can you look at and say, here's an idea or here's a concept?
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job in that game, I thought, creating some turnovers and then capitalizing on those turnovers. Their quarterback can run. He's a really good player. What they do scheme-wise, they ran the football really good on them. And, defensively, I thought they played great as well. So now, it was at their place too, so that obviously helps. But, we try to just break it down in segments. We try to, offensively, defensively, and kicking game. It's hard for us to break it down as a total game. So we're breaking it down in segments and taking little pieces and parts of the things that people had success with, and now let's try to put that in our game plan. We try to do that with every opponent that they played, and just taking the best of the things that they did, and then try to apply that into the game plan.
I'm curious, you as an offensive guy, there was a lot of talk last week about cover 2 possibly being bad for football and bad for offenses. What's your opinion on that? As an offensive guy, how have you tried to kind of counter that, such a successful coverage?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty funny, really. I mean, whatever the defense gives you, your job offensively is to attack that, like whatever that is. If you got 2 on the roof, then you should be able to run the football. So run it. I mean, I don't understand what people are saying. Okay, well, the touchdown passes are down in the NFL. Well, the rushing touchdown should be up, in my opinion. So whatever they're giving you on defense, you should be able to attack it in a manner that will get points. And I think it's about executing and attacking. And I do think football is crazy because it goes through in cycles. It's funny how I don't know how many years ago, but many years ago, everybody wanted the 3-4. And then it went to the 4 down. Cover 2, Tampa Bay, cover 2 and Tampa 2 and 4 down pass rushers. And then it went back to 3 down. And so there's so many different evolutions in football over the years. And I think we'll continue to see that. It's, offensively now it's been crazy. You see everything on offense now. And that's why I think offensively in college football is fun to watch because of all the different things that you do get to see.
Yeah. Just talking about the evolution of the defenses and things like that, what does the 3-3
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it gives you the ability to do a lot of different things, and that's where, you know, if you got 3 down linemen and then essentially 3 linebackers but 5 DBs, there's a lot of things you can do with that. I mean, you can drop everybody, obviously 8 people, which we do. You could bring 6 or 7 people on the blitz and from all different areas, and so I think it gives you a lot of versatility. I think it enables you to get a lot more speed on the field when you think about 5 DBs and then 3 linebackers. So, I mean, I just think there's a lot of stuff you can do with it, more so than maybe a 4 down where you got your 4 down lineman. Now you're one less person or body back in the back end. You know, and then our star, which is that, to me, that hybrid position where, you know, they can be a linebacker, we can pull them down the box, or they can be that extra safety that you have in the back end. So to me, that's the advantage of this defense.
Any questions for Coach?
All right, thanks, guys.